Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Charlin. Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross. Here. Mr. Mosley.
Here.
Mrs. Cale Smith. Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Mrs. Warwick.
Here.
Mr. Wilson. Mr. Lavelle, President.
Here.
5 members present.
Thank you. For those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Our next order of business is proclamations, and we have 2 from Councilman Mosley.
Will the folks from Senseless Vintage Clothing come up? I have to thank good brother Mel for giving me the heads up about this wonderful business in District 9. Even though brother Mel left the mayor's office a few months ago, his tentacles still reach far and his presence is still being felt here in City Hall. So welcome to council chambers. Good to see y'all. And whereas Senseless Vintage Clothing and Sneaker Store was founded in 2016 by Hill District brothers Javed and Ramir Watson. By combining their loves of fashion, music, and art, Senseless quickly became a cultural hub within the city. Their first brick-and-mortar location was on the north side of the city, nestled away on Western Avenue, and whereas the Watson brothers credit their upbringing and exposure to music and fashion with the opening of Senseless, while in college, Javed and Ramir, I hope I'm not butchering that, meticulously cataloged and sorted their merchandise on hanging racks in their parents' basement. And whereas Senseless, since securing their first brick and mortar building in 2016, quickly expanded and found a new location in District 9's Garfield neighborhood on Penn Avenue. Senseless has a commitment to the community and hosts book bag, coat drives, and continues to give back to the community and promote hope. And now let it be resolved that the city of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and congratulate Senseless for their commitment to hard work, discipline, and community. And be it further resolved that the council of the city of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 to be Senseless Day in the city of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Would you like to say, anybody like to say a few words?
I'm Javid. Me and my brother Romy, we've been working hard for the last 9 years, straight in Garfield, and we just hope that the next 9 years it's easier for kids that are coming up, entrepreneurs that look like us, have more opportunities in the city to really show their value and their worth. So thank you, everybody.
I'd like to invite the other members to come up and take a photo, please.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stop by sometime soon.
Absolutely, we'd love to see you.
Yep, absolutely. Congratulations. And now I'd like to call up the folks from the BGC Foundation. You can also invite the folks that came with you, your guests can come up as well. Good morning. You know, one thing about doing these proclamations, you know, that's so special. Oftentimes, you get to meet, make brand new friends, like the good folks from Senseless. But then you also, like a few months ago, when we did a proclamation from Belmar Gardens, my good friend Dr. Tysana Jones was here, who I've known for about 45 years, and now I get to give a proclamation to someone else I've known for about 45 years. I think we go back to preschool at St. Joe's over in Manchester with Miss Hunter. So good to see you again. And you know, we've known each other for almost 50 years, which is crazy to believe, but that's one of the wonderful things about being a council member. You give proclamations to folks you've known throughout every kind of chapter throughout your journey. So without any further ado, whereas the BGC Foundation is a nonprofit organization committed to empowering Pittsburgh's inner city youth through mentorship, education, digital inclusion, and advocacy. They recognize the systemic challenges faced by young people in urban communities and strive to create a supportive environment where they can thrive emotionally, academically, and socially. And whereas BGC Foundation is led by Sandra Hunter, CEO of Tech Savvy Consultants. Fueled by unyielding passion, relentless drive, and unwavering resilience, she set out on a mission to empower our youth and help them recognize positive futures with no boundaries. Sandra is a technologist with over 20 years of experience in the field and serves as a professor of technology and cybersecurity. And whereas BGC has positively impacted the lives of countless youth, their mentorship initiatives have fostered increased confidence, academic improvement, and purpose-driven growth. BGC's educational and digital inclusion programs have raised literacy and tech fluency rates, introducing youth to essential tools for the future. As a result, they are preparing a generation of youth who are both informed and empowered to lead, and now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and congratulate the BGC Foundation for their exemplary work addressing the holistic needs of underserved communities. And therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare June 10th, 2025 to be BGC Foundation Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You said everything. Good morning, council members, Councilman Mosley. I just want to say thank you. It means a lot when there's recognition for nonprofit organizations, especially those that are serving communities that may not get recognition. So I'm very grateful. Thanks everyone.
Would members like to come up for a photo?
Thank you.
And we have two to be read into the record, one from Councilman Coghill, one from Councilman Wilson.
Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 to be John P. Dolan Day in the City of Pittsburgh. That was presented by Councilman Coghill and also Councilman Wilson presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, June 14th, 2025 to be Flag Day here in the City of Pittsburgh.
Do we have a motion to approve both proclamations?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Both proclamations have been approved. Our next order of business is public comment. I would like to remind everyone the rules of council state that comments are limited in matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which may be before city council. Profanity will not be permitted. After you are called, please restate your name, provide your neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Beachview, Ciudad de Campeche, Estados Unidos Mexicanos, EUM. It's an ally possible for Pittsburgh City, I recommend. Global Intelligence Society candidate for President 2028, Global Information Intelligence Network.net, 24/7, Libertad de Expresión is key. Concerns of this council include ally sister cities and local government. Consistent with RLM Initiative 6, Ally City, Alliance Country, Initiative 3 as well, local government primacy regardless of what Trump says. This local government offers procs for music with local links such as Wiz Khalifa's song, Pittsburgh Sound, All in My Blood. So here is an Ally song, popular in Campeche, Mexico, and Beach Vista, Pittsburgh, USA, El Himno Migrante, Hymn to the Migrant. It's part of my rondo's repertoire. Dr. Claudia Scheinbaum, La Presidente de EUM Mexico of Jewish migrants to Mexico. She called migrants to the USA Los Heroes. In a public presentation of El Himno during a presidential Mañanera 25 December 2024. For Scheinbaum, her name means Tree of Light. Environmental Engineering USA, Livermore Lab Experience PhD, University of Mexico, collective communalist activist for food housing justice, private hot temper but public cool discipline, a dancer, ballet, samba. For her music, stressing hombre, mujer, male-female relational equality and empathy should be an alternative to a Mexican music subculture fixated on sex, gender, servitude, and antipathetic violence, but she maintains that they should not be censored. Scheinbaum established an international Mexican music competition, Mexico Canta e Canta, announced 8 April 2015. Mexican-American Pittsburghers, join up. Scheinbaum may allow establishment media sinvergüenza like Carlos Joret de Mota, A. Gomez Levia, to offer what she calls classist and sexist misinformation. But she affirms libertad de expresión, but she may not allow a mentira, a lie, such as was provided by Carlos. Very good for her. And for us.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Aurao Cornelio. I do not see them online. Is Aurao Cornelio with us? If not, our next speaker is Bill Vigdonnet.
Good morning. Everything is fine. At least that's what the current administration wants me to believe. I moved near Jack Stack Pool in Brighton Heights in 2019. It's quiet up here, I was told. That didn't last. On October 28th, 2022, gunmen shot up the front of a church during a funeral just down the street from my neighborhood. A couple months earlier, there was a drive-by shooting in the pool parking lot. The violence must stop, we were told, but everything is fine, the administration said. On July 12, 2023, children playing on nearby ball fields ran into the woods in terror as gunfire erupted and a woman was killed at the pool. But everything is fine, we were told again. Last March, a nearby resident threatened me with bodily harm after his unleashed dogs went after mine near the pool. I filed a report on the non-emergency reporting police line. No response. But everything is fine. Kids on dirt bikes drive straight at me and my dog while they film with GoPro cameras on their heads to goad me into a reaction. Multiple neighbors have called multiple times about the dirt bikes, which are illegal on city streets, but nothing is done. Since last Friday, my neighborhood has been on edge after one of our residents was shot after he attacked an officer with a knife. I am very grateful that the officer was not seriously wounded. The next night, about 100 teens filled the pool parking lot for a party right at my neighborhood. Neighbors called for help for hours, and we were told no police are available. Teens came into my neighborhood, used the trees and landscaping as toilets. When police finally arrived around 12:15 on Sunday, many of the teens scattered into my and the surrounding neighborhoods. Cars were entered, bottles of booze were left behind. It was a mess. After multiple complaints, city workers finally arrived at 5 p.m. Sunday to clean up the mess by the pool. But everything is fine. I watch drug deals take place in the pool parking lot, regardless day or night. I walk my dog amongst used condoms and drug paraphernalia some mornings. There are no lights in the parking lot of the pool to chase away the dealers, but everything is fine. In the city of Pittsburgh, it's not the criminals who are handcuffed, it's the police who don't have the manpower or the support to do their jobs. Everything is not fine. Thank you.
Thank you. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Provide your name and neighborhood for the record.
Good morning. Pamela Rawl Johnston, 211 Ballou Street, Pittsburgh, PA, Fine View, Northside. I again want to thank the council for taking consideration on raising the amount of sick days for the city of Pittsburgh, to looking out for the working class people in Pittsburgh and the community around us and their families. So I definitely want to thank you. Considering the condition of our country right now, it's a nice push up for working class. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Marla Blunt. I am from the Hunwood-Brushton area, 15208. And I would like to also thank City Council for bringing forth this sick day ordinance to recognize, to ensure that working families have enough paid sick days so that they can stay home when sick to take care of their families, for mothers to have an opportunity to take their children to the doctors, for working adults who have parents who they are responsible for to be able to support their families. And thanks for recognizing that this will uplift this city and to keep us all healthy and to ensure better service for this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Yvonne F. Brown, and I live at KV Irvis Tires up at the top of Bedford. I have been coming down for years talking about that there's 190 apartments in KV Irvis Tires, and we live at the top of Bedford, and Mercy is at the bottom of the hill. We don't have a bus to take us down, straight down the hill. I stopped coming at one time when the mayor was talking about the epidemic, because I would have to take 2 buses to go all the way to come here. And another thing, I live up in KV Irvis, and we have a domestic terrorist that is standing outside of the building. She's not allowed in there. Her mother lives there, standing outside talking whose ASS she's gonna kick. She already beat mother and daughter with hammer. She beat a man with a stick. She's threatening me. Mrs. Brown better keep her mouth shut. I came down because we didn't have security. Now we have security, but we don't have the bus. I went to county council, and the DeWitt Watson took and came to our building, and I was saying, we don't even have a bus. He was bragging about what he did. He turned around and said, I put your ASS out, swearing at me. I went to county council, and I said to county council, I was told by my councilman in the Vale to go to county council about the bus. And I said, this man has come and swearing at me. I went to the board and I said, I want them to take him before the board to see why he was swearing at me. And I sat there, the meeting was over, everybody left out the gold room, and I'm getting my stuff, and I hear somebody yell. DeWalt Woodson has come back into the room to scream at me, to holler at me. And I said, like, when he left out, I want you to understand this, citizens. When he left out out as a county councilman. Everything was done and over. When he came back screaming and hollering at me, a big, tall, big giant of a man, screaming and hollering, that's when he became a hood rat. You know, he came from the hood and he's acting like a rat. A big silverback gorilla running and chasing and hollering at me. If he stops me, citizens, who else will go? There's a lot of you that can go, won't go. Some that want to go and can't go. Those that know how to speak won't speak. Those that do speak, they chase me out, but I'm keep coming back because someone has to fight for us. We are the citizens. This is our room. Understand this. It's not theirs. They put this here for us to be able to speak 3 minutes, and when I'm speaking, they're on the phone, they're on their computer, they're on their whatever. I said there should be no electrical things out there. Let your aides take care of it. I worked with Kathy Mulligan as a lawyer in neighborhood legal service. She was just a new lawyer. She ended up being the
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
head judge of this county.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Special Agent Sunshine, the missing child, Cerise Taylor. How is everybody? Wow. I return to sender any voodoo, hexes, curses sent towards me 100 million, billion, trillion, googolplex, and whoever sent it, Lord, please throw them into a lake of fire. Lord, it's a mess. Like they said, it's a mess. Thank you, Lord, for the crown of glory, which enables me to share your word with passion with the world. In Jesus' name, amen. Matthew 22:37 says, Jesus said to him, you shall love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. It's hard sometimes for me to be a teacher of God's word. When my communication is being blocked by cyberbullies, I'm being stalked by bipolar narcissist stalker Ronnie Davis, Marvin Beatty, and Army Commander Sergeant Major James Edgar Howard. My family, all trying to kill me and keep my inheritance, which includes an insurance policy, trust, and a house. I'm being forced to be homeless by the U.S. and local government because my identity was stolen by fraud and voodoo death rituals for this theft. Proverbs 25:5 says, remove the wicked from the king's court, and his reign will be made secure by justice. Proverbs 29:12 says, if a ruler listens to lies, all his officials become wicked. That's you guys. Y'all wicked. It don't make no sense for people to have to live the way I'm being forced to. On the street! It's not okay. Y'all are thieves, liars, voodoo practitioners who steal inheritances, trusts, and identities. Really? How long you think you're going to live to see it happen? How long? God wants to know who's going to be next to be sacrificed. Because that's what y'all do when y'all do voodoo rituals. Y'all sacrifice people, children, for insurance. I'm not going to be quiet. No, I'm not. I'm going to scream this one. Lavelle, when you going to come out as a woman? Please come in here with your wig and your teeth. And come in here. Be real. Be who you are. I respect the Pride community more than ever. That event was awesome. I never thought I would experience joy from people who are real. When you're not real, you're fake, you're a fraud. You hide behind the truth. God is the truth in their life. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Seeing no further speakers, we'll turn to the presentation of papers, beginning with Councilman Charlin, Chair of Human Resources. Morning. What?
Councilperson Robert Charlin presents Bill 1912, Resolution amending Resolution 1 of 2022, which amended Resolution 322 of 2018, which authorized the mayor and the director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service to enter into an agreement with Integrated Health 21 LLC for services relating to the administration and management of a wellness portal by extending the term for 6 months, adding $80,540 for a not-to-exceed amount of $1,048,520.
That takes us to Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Safety and Wellness. Councilman Coghill has no new papers. And that moves us to Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Mosley, Chair of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Kahari Mosley presents Bill 1913, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 2305 Bedford Avenue at no cost to the city. Bill 1914, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the directors of the Department of Public Works and the Department of Finance on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to execute a declaration of restrictions and covenants and appurtenant documents in cooperation with Pittsburgh Water over certain easements and right-of-way in the vicinity of Riverview Park within the City of Pittsburgh as a condition on an operations and maintenance and grant agreements Pittsburgh Water has with the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority in conjunction with stormwater improvements in the area at no cost to the city.
And Councilwoman Kell Smith, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. You've been very busy.
Yeah, not me, the other two.
Councilwoman Teresa Kell Smith presents Bill 1924, Resolution providing for the designation as an historic historic structure under Title 11 of the Code of Ordinances that certain structure known as Vincentian Marion Manor located at 2695 Winchester Drive in the 20th Ward, City of Pittsburgh. Bill 1925, Ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title 9 Zoning, Article 8 Review and Enforcement, Chapter 922 Development Review Procedures, Section 922.01 General Requirements for All Procedures by adding a new Section 922.01.e Approval Deadlines. Bill 1926, Ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title 9 Zoning, Article 8 Review and Enforcement, Chapter 922 Development Review Procedures, Section 922.01 General Requirements for All Procedures by requiring that the zoning administrator act to determine the completeness of all applications filed under the zoning code within 30 days of receipt. Bill 1927, Ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title I Administrative, Article 3 Organization by adding a new chapter, Chapter 136, Department of City Development, and setting forth its powers and duties. Bill 1928, Ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title 9 Zoning, Article 8 Review and Enforcement by amending Chapter 923, Reviewers and Decision Makers, Section 923.01, Planning Commission, to replace the Planning Commission with the Commission on City Development, and Section 923.03, Zoning Administrator, to change the departmental assignment of this staff position. Bill 1929, Ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code, Title I, Administrative, Article 3, Organization, Chapter 114, Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspections, to revert the name back to the Bureau of Building Inspection and to reattach the Bureau to the Department of Public Safety. Bill 1930, Ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances, Title I, Administrative, Article 3, Organization, by adding a new chapter, Chapter 115, Department of Public Health, by attaching its functions to the Bureau of Building Inspection.
And Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilperson Erica Strasburger presents Bill 915, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of attorney registration for 2025 Pennsylvania Attorney Annual Registrations for an amount not to exceed $5,225 over 1 year. Bill 116, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Bernstein Berkeley PC for expert legal services in connection with a litigation matter for an amount not to exceed $6,115.50 over 1 year. Bill 1917, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into a professional consultation services agreements and/or amendments thereto with Exponent, Inc., in connection with claims and litigation involving the Fern Hollow Bridge at a cost not to exceed $40,000 over 1 year. And Bill 1920, Resolution further amending Resolution Number 886 of 2021, effective December 27, 2021, entitled Resolution adopting and approving the 2022 capital budget and the 2022 Community Development Block Grant Program, and the 2022 through 2027 Capital Improvement Program to decrease facility improvements by $328,662 and increase park reconstruction by $328,662.
And Councilwoman Warwick, Chair of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Barbara Warwick presents Bill 1921, Resolution providing for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design, final design, right-of-way, and construction phases of the City Steps project, and providing for the payment of costs thereof not to exceed $2,650,000, an increase of $1,800,000 from the previously executed agreement, reimbursable at 80%, and the municipal share of Commonwealth incurred costs at a cost to the City of Pittsburgh not to exceed $26,000, an increase of $16,000 from the previously executed agreement.
And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development. Councilman Wilson has no new papers. I have two. We can first read the communication.
Councilman R. Daniel Lavelle presents Bill 1922, communication from Jake Pollock, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, submitting to City Council the attached status update from the Grants Office for the week ended June 6, 2025.
And we need a motion to read, receive, and file.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The bill has been read, received, and filed, and now for the sponsored legislation.
Bill 1923, Resolution further amending and supplementing Resolution 539 of 2016 as amended, entitled Authorizing the Mayor, City Clerk, and/or Director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into a contract or contracts or agreement or agreements with Granicus, Inc. for software upgrades, server hosting services, and annual maintenance of Legistar agenda management and video streaming in order to extend the contract an additional 12 months for an additional cost of $64,087.63 for a total cost not to exceed $562,175.70.
And will someone please offer a motion to waive Rule 8 so this can be on tomorrow's agenda?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. Bill 1923 will be on tomorrow's Standing Committee agenda. That moves us to reports of committee for final action, beginning with Councilwoman Erica Strasburger.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilperson Erica Strasburger presents Bill 1902, Report of the Committee on Finance and Law for June 4th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1736, Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code at Title VI, Conduct, Article 1, Regulated Rights and Actions, Chapter 626, Paid Sick Days Act, Section 626.03, accrual of sick time so as to change the rate at which employees can accumulate paid sick leave hours and increase the maximum total amount of paid sick leave hours that can be accumulated. Bill 1868, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Adler Tree Service, doing business as Adler Tree Service and Landscaping, for emergency storm response to remove a tree fell on the residence at 205 Millbridge Street on March 13th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $6,750. Bill 1869, resolution amending Resolution 372 of 2023, which authorized the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement or agreements with Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney, P.C. for expert legal services in connection with human resource-related legal litigation by extending the contract another year and increasing the total not-to-exceed amount by $40,000 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $80,000 over the course of 2 years.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill? Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson? Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
7 ayes.
The bill, having received the required number of votes, is passed finally. That takes us to Councilman Anthony Coghill, presenting the Committee of Public Safety and Wellness. Councilman Charlin? It passed.
They were a little too quiet there.
Councilman Anthony Coghill presents Bill 1903, Report of the Committee on Public Safety and Wellness for June 4th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1863, resolution authorizing, pursuant to Chapter 210 of the City Code, the mayor and the director of the Office of Public Safety to accept a donation from the Allegheny Kiski Health Foundation in the amount of $9,090 to purchase compressed air carts for EMS. And Bill 1864, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Purvis Systems Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $50,245 for payment of batteries and installation services of the station alerting system at the Training Academy and Fire Station 7.
You have heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
7 ayes.
The bill having received the legal required number of votes is passed finally. That moves us to Councilwoman Barbara Ward, presenting the Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Barbara Warwick presents Bill 1904, Report of the Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for June 4th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1870, Resolution providing for a supplemental agreement or agreements with Gannett Fleming, Inc. for costs associated with the Smithfield Street Reconstruction Project, providing for the payment of the costs thereof not to exceed $1,707,042.29, an increase of $227,715.25 from the previously executed agreement as previously authorized by Resolution 336 of 2023 to add funding for the final design and construction phases of the project. Bill 1899, Resolution approving the recommendation made by the Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure that the concrete portion of Verona Boulevard from Pokita Road to 7281 Verona Boulevard be paved with asphalt in accordance with Section 417.06 of the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances.
You've heard the reading and the title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
7 ayes.
The bill having received the legal required number of votes is passed finally. That moves us to Councilperson Robert Charlin, presenting the Committee of Human Resources.
Councilperson Robert Charlin presents Bill 1905, Report of the Committee on Human Resources for June 4th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1861, Resolution providing for the filing of applications for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Human Services for grants in connection with the Joint Jobs Initiative Program Employment Advancement and Retention Network, and providing for the authorization to enter into agreements with various agencies and to pay for expenditures for costs to support, implement, and administer the program. Cost not to exceed $3,828,594.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? If none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
7 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required number of votes is passed finally, and that takes us to Councilwoman Deborah Gross, presenting the Committee of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Deborah L. Gross presents Bill 1906, Report of the Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management and Technology for June 4th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1865, Resolution amending Resolution 898 of 2024, which authorized the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with eDocs Technologies, LLC, for the implementation of an enterprise-wide content management system to add funding for document imaging for the Bureau of Police by increasing the approved amount by $31,640 for an amended total cost not to exceed $3,031,640 over 1 year. Bill 1866, Resolution amending Resolution 937 of 2024, which authorized the mayor and the directors of the Departments of Innovation and Performance, Finance, and Public Safety to enter into an amended agreement with B3 Solutions, Inc. for the continued provision of software maintenance and support services for critical applications and transition guidance by increasing the approved amount by $12,000 for an amended total cost not to exceed $2,141,321 over 8 years. Bill 1867, Resolution amending Resolution 119 of 2025, which authorized an agreement or agreements with Root Smart Technologies, Inc. through November 30th, 2027, to provide trash and recycling routing optimization software that provides turn-by-turn directions to environmental service drivers at a cost not to exceed $247,127 by adding the Director of the Department of Innovation and Performance as a signatory. Bill 1884, Resolution amending Resolution number 148 of 2020, which authorized a contract renewal with Questica, Inc. to provide a subscription-based budgeting and performance management system by updating the legal vendor name to Unis Solutions, extending the term for 1 year, and increasing the approved amount by $86,625 for a new total cost not to exceed $499,125 over 6 years. Bill 1885, Resolution amending Resolution number 469 of 2024, which authorized an amended agreement with Workiva, Inc. to provide a subscription-based publishing software solution by extending the term for an additional 1 year and increasing the approved amount by $56,623.67 for a new total cost not to exceed $277,967.81 over 6 years.
You have heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Is this a-
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye on all bills except for 1866. Thank you.
Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
On Bill 1866, 6 ayes, 1 no. And on Bills 1865, 1867, 1884, and 1885, 7 ayes.
The bill, having received the required number of votes, is passed finally. And finally, Councilman Carl Mosley, presenting to the Committee of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Kahari Mosley presents Bill 1907, Report of the Committee on Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs for June 4th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1848, Resolution authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Finance to execute a quitclaim deed or deeds and any other necessary or appropriate documents, agreements, and instruments conveying as is all of the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in Block 25P, Lots 11 and 12, in the 2nd Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, 2608 Penn Avenue, Council District 1, to the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh for consideration of $1 contingent upon the Mayor and Director of the Department of Finance first entering into a cooperation agreement or agreements with the URA, setting forth the rights and obligations of the city and the URA relating to these initial conveyances, and further setting forth the rights and obligations of the city and the URA relating to the subsequent disposition of this property to a third party at no cost to the city.
You have heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Councilwoman Gross?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We had a discussion last week about this bill, and I stated at the time that I have been on the record now for many years that the city should not be selling off its assets, its real estate in the Strip District specifically, which is the kind of highest land value per square foot in Western Pennsylvania, most likely. And that I was told that there was no plan for this specific building. So this is a historic police precinct. If you've driven down Penn Avenue in the Strip District and you pass 27th or 26th Street, which crosses Penn Avenue, there's a restaurant on one corner, a city warehouse on another, and this kind of red brick, small, historic-looking city police precinct. It's been used in movie production. I think it was used in the Netflix series. I think it was called Mindhunter. And it's centrally located in the middle of what is our technology district in the city. It's surrounded by robotics companies, by AI companies, software companies. It's got Facebook nearby. It's got Apple nearby. It's got artificial intelligence offices nearby. It's also surrounded by extraordinarily high sales price condos, townhouses, apartments. There are about 2,000 or 3,000 new, very, very expensive residential units in the Strip District, and 2,000 or 3,000 very expensive, basically, offices in the Strip District in the last 10 years. I was told that this bill did not need to go to Orphans Court because it wasn't a commissioned nor a donated property the way, Shinley Park would be. That city council can just vote to just liquidate, a city facility. But I think it should not. I think specifically in this case, it's important for us to protect where we own property. We talk a lot here at the table about how to fight gentrification. We talk here a lot at the table about how to protect affordability. I believe that the time is long past that we should be talking not only about affordable housing, but also about affordable commercial spaces. You heard me some 10 years ago have this conversation about the produce terminal in the Strip District, which I believe we should not have leased out to become basically a strip mall. That it could have been, it was a space that had a public market in it and it had publicly subsidized, basically, commercial space, and that it should have remained so. I did convince the previous administration to not sell it outright, but unfortunately, they put a 15-year buyout clause on it. So it was not only a 99-year lease to the current tenant, which is basically, still city-owned, but it allows the current property tenant to continue to pay real estate taxes and things like that. But then they unfortunately snuck in a 15-year buyout clause, so we could lose the produce terminal and lose the public ownership there. This is a city-owned property. There is absolutely no reason to sell it to the URA for $1. I would request that they give us back the produce terminal for $1, right? I would request that they give us back other facilities that we've given them for $1. I would also take back the 8-acre site at 62nd Street. Let's do a swap then, right? You give us back 62nd Street, which we actually need for DPW staging and more DPW activities. You could give us that one. So this is basically a vote yes today to dispose of a city facility just because no one's tried to think of a city function that we might need there, or a way to lease it out to an affordable commercial use, a nonprofit use. Again, I talked before the pandemic to, I think it's called Work Hard PGH, which had technology training for underemployed youth who were having to try to get, with lack of public transportation, all the way out to Allentown, which is not, which is great for Allentown that they have such a lovely facility, but it was difficult for people from all over the city to get there. This is centrally located, and I think we should be trying to figure out what is the best use for city for the city citizens at this site, and not aiding and abetting gentrification. So I urge council members to vote no. I will definitely be voting no on the liquidation of a city facility that I think could have a much, much better function than just more gentrification. So please vote no today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilwoman Warwick.
Yeah, I do. I certainly want to echo Councilwoman Gross's points. I also just want to sort of, from a practical perspective, DPW Director Hornstein sent us a report from 2018 that basically said the roof on this building is okay, except for a small leak having to do with the gutter. So, sounded like a relatively small repair. And back in 2018, I believe the report said that he estimated the as-is sale value of this building at $509,000. That was in 2018. Obviously, property values, in the Strip District have skyrocketed since then. He did estimate that it would cost, again, back in 2018, roughly $3 million for us, for anyone, right, to renovate or repurpose the building. But it, from his email and the report, my understanding was that we have done no maintenance in the past 7 years. So there is not like an ongoing cost to this building. It's not like we're in the building doing work all the time, or that it is a burden, I wouldn't say. It is, again, I want to echo Councilwoman Gross's points, and I also want to say that generally speaking, when it comes to real estate, right, it's a good idea to hold on to it. Right? If there's nothing wrong with it, even if you don't know what you want to do with it, right? Even if you don't have a project for it, even if you don't, it would be to the city's economic advantage to hold on to the building, as we know that values are going to increase, especially in this particular neighborhood. And, I love the idea of leasing it out to businesses, right, at a subsidized rate. I think that's a great idea. I'm sure that there would be takers for something like that. But even if we leased it out at a full rate and just kept the building, right, you keep the asset. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't remember. I don't want to misspeak, but at the table, what was it, an 80-20 split? Like if we sell it to the URA and then they sell it, right, they sell it for us, like they get 80% and we get 20%. So, this is a lost, we have a very valuable thing that is just sitting there, that's not causing any issue, just sitting there. It sounds like the roof could be repaired relatively inexpensively if there is indeed, it would at least be worth checking the roof and making sure, before we just sell it off. So I know that Councilwoman Gross and I are kind of looking at this from different perspectives, but I agree that we should hold on. This is a valuable building, and I think that we should hold on to it because, it's a valuable asset, and you hold on to things, especially when you're kind of hurting for, when you're worried about finances, then you should hold on to your valuable assets because you may need them someday. I don't know, right? At any rate, that's my thought on that. So thanks.
Councilwoman Strasburger.
Thank you. I know that the bill sponsor and the council member for this district isn't here today, but
He just joined online.
Okay. Well, regardless, I wanted to speak in favor of this bill, and I want to speak in favor of this bill because we're talking about a lot of hypotheticals here. This hypothetical time in the future when we'll have $3 million plus to potentially renovate it. That hasn't happened in the last at least 10 years. I think it's been vacant for 20 years. We've had opportunities to do that, and we haven't. Even when we were flush with money, this fell to the bottom of our priority list to repurpose. So this premise that we are just going to hold on to this building because it feels like a good idea to do so, when at no point there's been made any effort to repurpose it by the city, nor have we had the finances to do so, or been in a financial position to do so, makes me think that not selling it to the highest bidder, right? That's not what we're doing. We're not just saying, hey, developer of high-rise apartments, come and pitch us on this. We are working with our partners at the URA, who we seem to be treating as enemies here, but they're very much not. They are our partners who can help us go through, along with the district and the neighbors and the council office and the city, through a community process to determine the best use of it. I can speak from my own experience when the Hunt Armory, which was a vacant armory storing military equipment, which was great for easy parking access next to it, but not great for the community, we had a choice: sell it to the highest bidder and probably turn it into condos or apartments or offices, or go through a URA-driven community process. We chose the latter. It was a long, drawn-out process, and although the work is not completely done there, it's a public asset. It's an ice skating rink. And, so maybe I'm always the optimist here, but I think going through a URA community-driven process doesn't equal gentrification. It means there's a community-driven process, and what the community wants, the community has a say in. So I'm very much in favor of this. I wanted to push back on this notion that somehow we're going to be better if we let this sit for another 20 years, or we're going to be, enabling gentrification by automatically voting on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Councilman Wilson, then I'll have second round.
All right, thanks. I just want to say thanks to everyone that will be voting in favor of this bill today to let the URA handle the disposition process. I've had good experience, in particular with one property on Troy Hill, with an old firehouse. And the URA led that process, and I'm confident in their expertise to do something similar here. And just like I'm a big fan of the land bank in terms of putting vacant abandoned property back on the tax rolls and making sure that the city of Pittsburgh isn't a part of creating more blight, excuse me, is the same reason why, this building is also just creating more blight for an area that doesn't have to have any blight, just like anywhere in the city. And I'll echo some of the comments I heard about, why would we let this sit for another 20 years? I mean, exactly right. So I appreciate everyone who's in support of making sure that this property sees a different life and a different use, or definitely a different use, since I don't think the next person is going to use it as an MMI building or police station. And looking forward to what it will become. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Second round, Councilman Gross.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's have a little flashback. 20 years ago, there were about 400 residents in the Strip District. You can look it up in the U.S. Census. It was definitely an abandoned, empty, not a residential neighborhood, right? There were literally unused warehouses in the Strip District, which is mind-blowing if you look at it now. Just 20 years ago, there were not 2,000 to 3,000 apartments, condos, and townhouses. There certainly were not 2,000 to 3,000 luxury office buildings. 20 years ago, you didn't necessarily need a publicly serving facility in the Strip District. There's no rec center in the Strip District. We may actually be underserved. I'm concerned about how underserved we are with all other city functions in the Strip District. There are increasing demands there, and there will be future needs. The last time the previous administration tried to liquidate these properties in the Strip District to developers, I said the same thing. It's because of the rapid change. I think it is the responsibility of this body, which has the sole authority over selling or acquiring city assets like real estate, that we should be thinking about how rapidly this neighborhood is changing and what really would best serve the public in this location. I did not say that this body should spend $3 million renovating this building. And I don't believe anybody has said that. So to give that as a reason for selling is not a very good argument. I will also say that this body, and I think every council member on it, currently on it, has acknowledged that gentrification and affordability are a problem, right? So gentrification means the displacement of affordable spaces and housing, business, nonprofits, because they are pushed out by property value and rents. So there is basically a homogenization of that area to high rents and people who can pay them. I believe that we should not aid and abet gentrification of the Strip District by voting yes today. I believe it is the responsibility of council members on this body to vote no on this bill, and I will be voting no. I will add in that other cities that are taking better strides at fighting gentrification are doing exactly this. They are both acquiring new publicly owned properties for both commercial and residential affordable development, and not selling the properties that they do own so that they can be managed for affordability, both commercial and residential. Montgomery County in Maryland is an excellent example of mixed-use affordable development by keeping public ownership. And Atlanta is also following suit, and several other cities. I just went to a panel. I didn't see any of my fellow colleagues there last week at the Pittsburgh Community for PCRG, Pittsburgh Community Redevelopment Group, which is a summit on local public policy with lots of our community organizations on this very topic, and I'm grateful to them. And then we had a follow-up conversation with many people, both at the URA, at the city, and community leaders about how to increase the amount of property that is publicly owned and the public stake in those properties for both commercial and residential redevelopment. And that's why we should not be liquidating public ownership, especially in a neighborhood where gentrification has already taken hold, like the Strip District. Thank you, Mr. President.
Second round, Councilwoman Warwick.
I just want to clarify too, in the discussion on Wednesday, I had asked if anyone was interested in this property, and the councilman said that there was some interest from various, but it wasn't clear who. Again, just on the practical side, my concern is, and I understand what Councilwoman Strasburger is saying, that the building's sitting there unused, and so better to have it be used for something rather than be used for nothing. But my concern is, and because we don't have any insight into what is going to happen, right, is that we don't know that this is going to be used for affordable housing or affordable anything. What my concern is that, this goes to the URA and then it gets sold to just, pick a developer who does market rate housing with it, when we as the city could have sold it to that same developer to do that same work for a 2018 value of $500,000, and we don't even know right now because we haven't had it assessed, right? We don't know how much it's worth today. We know the building is in fairly good shape, and I mean, again, if it passes, then it'll just be like, we'll see, but I you know, it won't feel very good other than the chance to say, I told you so, to see the URA sell it for market rate development, and we get 20%, the URA gets 80%, and we could have just, in this whole process, and we could have just put it on the market ourselves and sold it and gotten, if we really need to sell it, if the idea is that this is blight, which I've looked at the building, and I wouldn't call it blight. It's a pretty nice building, at least, but at any rate, that's just kind of just a basic that if we knew for sure, right, that there was some kind of deed restriction or something on the property that said this is going to be used for affordable housing or affordable office space for whatever, right, or something, something that was going to be affordable to, whoever is going to be in there, that would be one thing. But that doesn't seem, that's not the case, at least as far as I understand. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Smith?
Thank you. Just a few things. I think you're actually both making my case for the Department of Economic Development under the mayor's office, because I think we do need to have more of a say in what happens with some of these properties. And we've given a ton of money to the URA for affordability, and we're just not seeing a ton of it. Even though we're seeing some of it, we're just not seeing a lot of it. And I mean, although a lot of people feel comfortable with the URA, that's something that I've never felt totally 100% comfortable with. I don't like all the ways that we take money out of the city, out of our purview. And so I do like the idea of having deed restrictions and things like that, because and I'm just wondering procedurally, if we pass this today, would it be too late to put some things in place that protect it, so that we can make sure that city council is comfortable with? Do you know that answer?
So, if I understand your question correctly, if we pass this today, that doesn't immediately mean the URA takes ownership. So there's a whole process that would have to take place. Therefore, if you're asking, is there additional time to bring forward additional legislation that would put mandates on the property itself, yes, that could be done.
And to be honest with you, I'm not on this bandwagon when every development we have to do has to be affordability. I mean, in our area, we need some market rate just to stabilize our area, and just even some development period in places like Esplin that haven't seen any investment other than what we've done on a local, from city council level. But I do think that when we're dealing with public property, we should know what's happening with it in the future. So if we can later add something to it, then I'll vote today in favor, but if not, then I wasn't going to, because I actually share their concerns. I think they made some really valid points. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not,
Council President.
Councilman Wilson?
Sorry. I went to my daughter's 5th grade graduation today, so I'm trying to make this work. So I just wanted to recognize that I drove up to the property the other day. It's 2 broken out windows. There's a couple lights that are busted off the front of it. I would consider that blight. I would consider that, something that we're not investing in and that we haven't been doing for a long time. We don't have any control over that lot. We're not doing any sort of enforcement on that lot, or around that building at all. So not sure, the public can, I guess, do what they want. They can park there. There isn't a, what I'm trying to say, there's not like there's someone monitoring that building. Like, we don't have the capacity to do that. And that sends up a lot of, signs to me that there is a need to move forward and do something about this property. Like everyone knows, it's been happening for over a decade. And there is a lot of comments that have been made that could seem to try to provoke some fear into a lack of a public process, and that we are doing something that will harm the neighborhood, which in fact is the opposite. There will be, there will be a clear, transparent public process for this disposition of the property that the URA will handle. And, I will, and others are glad to hold the URA accountable as well throughout that process. And having the URA, just like the land bank, do a disposition process allows us to not have to sell to the highest bidder. And that's a good thing, because that allows for more flexibility in terms of what the community decides based on the applicants that apply for the property. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when her name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
No.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Ms. Warwick? Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. LaBelle, President?
Aye.
6 ayes, 2 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is passed finally. That takes us to motions and resolutions. And Councilwoman Strasburger?
Yes, thank you. So I realize that I think we're joined by Councilman Wilson today, but on his behalf, there was apologies, pulling this up. There was a request for a correction with one of the bills. I'd like to make a motion to reconsider Bill 2025-1854.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank
The
you.
bill is being reconsidered.
Thank you. So there was a typo in the original bill. This is, the bill in front of you is correcting the reporting timeline from 6 months to 90 days, which was the original intention. And that, yeah, it's a small and a minor correction. So I'd like to make a motion to amend Bill 1854.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The bill has been amended.
And now I'd like to make a motion to approve the bill as amended, the amended reconsidered bill.
Second.
And I believe now we need a roll call vote.
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. LaBelle, President?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 1854 has been amended and passed finally. Anything else from members? Councilman
Mr. President.
Councilman Wilson?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if I could register aye votes for the votes that I missed.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Smith?
Thank you. I just want to mention that the Ream pool is going to be opening, and I want to thank the administration for all the work that they did to get that pool up and running, and the playground at Westwood. And I want to thank the school district for working with us on getting that playground open. The kids are enjoying it, and they love it. I really want to get Sheridan Pool moving, but Director Hornstein's coming to a meeting to work with the residents on that. But I do want to say, while I'm talking about all the things that are finally happening in our district, I want to acknowledge some of the people that come to our meetings in the evening from the administration. Chrisira Johnson, Chastity Bay, and Yon. and I can't remember Jan's last name.
Rather.
What is it? Ricker. He lives in my district, so I should remember this. But I want to thank them because they come to these meetings at night after they put in a day of work, and they were just really helpful and really good with helping the residents. And they came yesterday to our Greater West End Alliance meeting, which Bill Lamar is part of, our camera guy over there. And I just want to say that they did a nice job in giving presentations and helping. I just want to thank them for the work that they do that sometimes goes unrecognized. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mosley.
Yeah, I want to thank all the stakeholders throughout the county who are coming together to support the employees and the students at Pittsburgh Job Corps, which is in my district, which is facing 180 layoffs and several hundred students who were on a career development, workforce development track that now has potentially been disrupted, and about 60 young people between the ages of 16 and 24 who will be unhoused at the end of the month. I'm working very closely with the county executive's office. I want to thank the county executive for her leadership on this issue, but I'm working very closely with Partners to Work, community college, and many other stakeholders who have been at the table, as well as local grassroots nonprofits who are trying to find ways to provide mutual aid. I met with about 2 or 3 dozen stakeholders on Sunday, and about 15 students from our Job Corps who, if the legal attempts to block the closure are thwarted on the 17th of this month, do not know where they're going to be living come July 1st. So this is something that I think is an example of the numerous challenges that we're going to be facing from the current administration in Washington. Obviously, we all see what is happening in Los Angeles, and I'm very concerned. That visual that we see from Los Angeles, could be coming to a city near you, a city near us. As we deal with the national challenges, it's very important to underscore that these challenges are coming, to our city, and we're facing, a huge challenge. 180 people out of work. That's a steel mill. That's a factory. That's the equivalent. Not just because it's in District 9, but because it is in the city of Pittsburgh. And I hope we don't see too many more of these challenges. But I do want to thank everyone who has stepped up to the plate so far. It's still early. We have a lot of work to do, but I did just want to thank everyone who has stepped up to the plate and then responded quickly to this crisis.
Thank you. Thank you for your leadership on this. Anything else from members? Councilwoman Strasburger.
Thank you. Well, I just want to thank Councilman Mosley for all of his work there, and know that, if there's anything that I can do or other council members can do to support, please do in that Job Corps closure. On a different note, I don't know if I officially have to do this, but I'd like to call for an executive session with our solicitor officially for discussion about the rental registration program.
Thank you. We did need to do that, so thank you for remembering. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And just so members are aware, we actually did schedule it, but we didn't call for it. So it's actually scheduled for today at 1 o'clock.
And I actually think, am I supposed to call for a couple public hearings, Sean? Do you remember? Not yet.
All right. So meeting announcements. As just mentioned, this afternoon at 1 o'clock, council will hold an executive session on the rental registration case and bills 1916 and 1917 as it relates to litigation. Also this afternoon at 1:30, council will hold a cablecast public hearing on bill 1807 regarding renaming the Boundary Street Park. Speaker registration will close at 11:30 a.m. this morning. And tomorrow, Wednesday, June 11th at 10 a.m., council will hold our standing committee meeting. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. To register to speak at these meetings, please fill up the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage by the deadline or call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. With that, Councilwoman Smith.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I do have an email that I'm supposed to call for an executive session with the law department on the status of the PWSA contract, which is due, I think it's up on August 1st to the PUC, so for council. That's what. So motion for. You want to call for that?
No, you can. Okay. I'll back you.
Okay, motion for a executive session with the law department regarding the PWSA contract.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll work with you in the clerk's office to get that scheduled as well. With that, we need a motion to excuse the absent member, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We are adjourned.